Good day traders, this is Stefanos on behalf of Tixee, and in today's webinar we'll be giving an outlook of the market for the week of the 9th until the 13th of May. Looking at some of the highlights for next week, we're yet again focusing on the earnings season, and more specifically 3 large corporations which are also listed on Tixee's platform are going to be reporting their figures. Now those 3 names are Walt Disney, Beyond Meat and Alibaba, which we will also analyze later on during the webinar. Before we get started, as always, please note that all of the ideas discussed in the webinar are my opinions and do not make up for any form of investment and trading advice, neither any recommendations to buy or sell. You should always do your own research and due diligence before buying or selling any securities, financial products or instruments, and whether you use any kind of trading strategies. Any information that relates to past performance is not indicative of future results. So, looking at stocks, as we mentioned, the 3 names in focus are Beyond Meat, Disney, and Alibaba. Now, looking at Beyond Meat first, I'll just pull up the chart in the meantime, keep it on the daily time frame. They're going to be reporting their figures on Wednesday, the 11th of May, and it's going to be after the market close. So again, just reiterating with regards to the timing of the release of the report. If it's after the market close, you can expect the impact to be seen on the very next day with the open, where the price will potentially gap up or down depending on the result the previous night. And then we also have the scenario where they will be releasing the figures on the pre-market hour, so the impact is going to be seen on the exact same day with the open. Again, prices will gap up or down depending on the outcome, and then you can position yourself accordingly with regards to the stock you're looking at. So again, Beyond Meat is going to be releasing on Wednesday 11th after the market close. Some points worth mentioning is that with their earnings performance, they have missed expectations on the last 6 occasions as far as the EPS, and the revenue expectations have been missed on the last 5 occasions. And also, the reason why I pulled up the chart is if we look at the price year to date, so I just zoom out a little bit further. So this is essentially the start of the year. It's pretty much here. We can see that it has been selling off ever since. It's down more than 40% year to date, with the prices trading at the lows here around $36. Now we can see that somebody could, on the technical side, you could think that this is potentially a triple bottom. However, if it does break down, then it could continue selling off even further. It did. I mean, this bottom here, it took, let's see, from the mid-March basically until the end of April. So it was 1.5 months that it took to form, and this one took a lot less than that. So I highly doubt this is a triple bottom, and we could just see a further breakdown of prices. But again, this depends also on the result of the earnings. If we get a positive result, we could very well see the prices going back up to the retest the highs up here. So yeah, this is with regards to Beyond Meat. The Disney is the next one. They will be also reporting their figures on the 11th, just like Beyond Meat, after the market close as well. So again, the impact to be seen on the 12th, which is the very next day. Looking at the earnings performance of Disney, things are looking somewhat better, as they have beaten the EPS expectations on the last 5 out of 6 occasions, and the revenue expectations on the last 4 out of 6. But again, looking at the big picture, which is again from the start of the year, which is around about this area here, we can see prices has also been selling off, now trading at $110. Percentage wise, it's not as bad as Beyond Meat, but prices are still down more than 25%, as we can see again from the overall sell-off. And then the last one that we mentioned is Alibaba. They're expected to release the numbers either it was going to be Friday after the market close or Monday with the open, so stay tuned to see with regards to the outcome what they're going to be showing as far as the report. As far as the performance, out of the past 6 earnings reports, Alibaba has topped the EPS estimates on 4 out of 6 occasions, whereas the revenue expectations have been 50-50, topping estimates on the past 3 out of 6 occasions. Year to date, their share prices are down by 20%. So out of the three, it's the one that's down the least. But again, they're all, as we can see, they're either 20% or higher, which is by how much they've been selling off since the start of the year. So yeah, this is with regards to the three names to watch out for with the open on next week. And next up, we're going to be moving on to Forex, and specifically, we're going to have a look at the economic calendar, as we always do with the Outlook. Again, you can just go to Tixee's homepage, Education and Research tab. You can just click on the economic calendar. You can use the filters here to manipulate the data according to your preference. For the sake of the webinar, we're going to keep it to next week. And I will also keep the medium high impact events, and also keep note of my time here, which is the UK time zone. So obviously you want to make sure that you're adjusting it according to the time zone that you're in, so you can see the correct times with regards to when an event is going to be released. So kicking things off with Monday, well, we're going to be having the wholesale inventories figure coming out of the US, which is one of the more important events for the day. We're also going to be having a speech from a Fed member. So this, in my opinion, will be the two events to look out for on Monday. Again, don't forget to use the little tooltip here, which is again always very useful with regards to what you can expect prices to move in the couple of hours after the release of the event. Again, it's not set in stone that because it says 25.71 pips, that's by how much it's going to move, but just giving you a rough idea of the volatility you can expect in the hours following the release of the report. Next up, we're going to be moving on to Tuesday. We're going to be having the retail sales figure coming out of Australia. As we can see here, it's going to be 2:30 a.m. Again, UK time. And then in the morning hours, we're going to be having the economic sentiment index coming out of the Eurozone. And then just from midday onwards, a couple of speeches from some of the Fed members. And yeah, just memorize the little tooltip here, because you can see there's like quite a number of speeches here. So if you're looking to trade those, might as well, if you want to focus on one or two depending on the volatility, you can just again use it to your advantage. Then moving on to Wednesday, we're going to be having the unemployment rate coming out of Korea if you like trading exotics. So that's one event for you to watch out for. In the morning hours, we're going to be having the inflation rate coming out of Germany, and also a speech by the ECB President Lagarde, which is going to be at 9. As you can see, it's the event that has the highest volatility with regards to the major pairs on the day. And then we're also going to have inflation data coming out of US, which is going to be towards midday again. Now we're moving on to Thursday, which is going to be, as we can see, a pretty UK focused day. So we're going to be having these events being released at pretty much the same time. The important one being the GDP figure, but again, we can see you also have the trade balance. So the combination of all these events is likely going to result in a lot of volatility with regards to the GBP related pairs. So again, UK focused day. So if it's one currency you like trading, then you can obviously make use of these events that are being released. Towards midday, we're going to have core PPI figure coming out of the US and the initial jobless claims as well. And then finishing things off on Friday, we'll have a speech from RBA member Bullock, and then midday we're going to have export-import prices from the US. And yeah, that's pretty much it to finish off the week. Again, the important ones is the UK focus day, which is going to be on Thursday. And also, let's not forget the inflation data on Wednesday, as well as the speech from the ECB president. And since we're on the topic of the economic calendar, we're going to be moving on to talking about commodities. For oil, let's not forget we have the usual weekly oil inventory report, which is going to be released on Wednesday, as per usual. Again, it's going to be at 3:30 UK time. Other than the oil inventories, Let me just pull up the charts in the meantime. So yeah, other than the oil inventories, the other headline in focus is of course the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And on top of that, we also saw last week how the EU finally moved towards deciding a total ban of all of Russian oil imports by the end of the year. Therefore, this is something that could further prop up prices next week if we get any additional reports or updates on the matter and how aggressive the EU is going to be with regards to banning the imports. We can already see the starting effects taking place. We had a pretty strong push with regards to oil prices, like 3 consecutive days last week. And even if I switch on the weekly time frame, we'll be able to see that it finished the week in the green as well. And similar story is with regards to gold, as far as the Russian and Ukraine conflict. And other than that, gold seems to be quite, has always had the inverse relationship with the dollar. But we saw with oil, it's not really affected that much with the strengthening dollar because it also has other factors pushing its prices higher. But with regards to gold, even though we do have the Russian-Ukraine conflict, what seems to overpower gold at the minute is essentially the Fed interest rate hike that we also had last week, which boosted significantly the dollar, and as a result we saw gold prices dropping, which they have now posted a 3 consecutive week decline, as we can see here. So if we get any further hints from the Fed with regards to hiking rates even further for the rest of the year, then we could potentially expect some further pressure with regards to gold prices. And lastly, we're going to be moving on to cryptos. I'll just pull up the chart of Bitcoin specifically. Now, if you've watched the last couple of sessions or webinars that we've covered, you would know that essentially what we have been looking at Bitcoin. I'll just keep it on the weekly time frame. It was this channel right here. We're looking for a breakdown of this channel, or the flag, whatever pattern you want to call. But yeah, as soon as we got the breakdown, this is essentially the key area that we're looking for potentially a bounce. But we can see here from the past, we had the levels which was around about the $30,000 mark where the prices started bouncing quite strongly. So for now, we could have a similar scenario where prices, they have this little area to still move into until they tap the 30,000, and from that point we could either move further higher, or we could just see prices breaking below the level and just moving further down. If they do end up doing that and moving further down, then the next level to watch is going to be round about the 20,000. If I just mark the 20,000, this is going to be more or less the next level to keep an eye on. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks to come for Bitcoin, and in general for other cryptocurrencies as well. But as we can see for now, what is in focus is the breakdown of this pattern. And if you look to jump on it, it depends what kind of direction you look to trade, obviously. But for now, the overall consensus, in my opinion, is just to eye this level right here, which is again the 30,000 mark. And yeah, there you have it. This is as far as the outlook for next week's market. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it useful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, trade safe.